Hi there, and welcome to our lesson on area models. Our I can statement is, I can demonstrate how to use an area model to compute products. You are practicing how to use the area model or box method to answer multiplication problems. Let's begin. In order for you to be successful during this lesson, you will need three things: paper, a pencil, and a smile. Why? Because you're going to have so much fun. So, if you do not have these three items, I want you to pause our lesson, grab your items that you need, and resume the lesson when you are ready to begin. Here's our problem that we're going to work on. 32 times 12. What does 32 times 12 equal to? Well, that's what we're going to work on. As you can see, there's a question mark because we do not have the answer. Do you know another word for the answer of a problem that is multiplication? If you said product, you are right. Whenever you multiply and come up with an answer, that answer is called a product. But before we actually multiply these two numbers, what should we do first? Should we A, solve the problem, B, estimate, C, do nothing? Boys and girls, if you chose B, estimate, you are correct. What does estimate mean? Estimate means we are actually taking our numbers and seeing what they are close to. If we take 32 and 12 and estimate the both of them and then multiply them, we are going to have a reasonable answer as to what our real answer should be. So estimating is very helpful. We don't want an answer that is crazy. So an estimate helps us to make sure our product will be reasonable. Okay, boys and girls. So now it's your turn to estimate. Please make sure you use your paper and your pencil as I talk you through this lesson. Remember, at any time, you may pause the lesson. So we're going to look at 32 and 12 and estimate them. If we take a look at 32, what do we know that 32 is close to? If you wrote down 30, you are correct. Now let's look at 12. What number would you say 12 is close to? You're right. 12 is close to 10. So, when I'm estimating this problem, 32 times 12, I'm going to actually multiply this. 30 times 10. While I'm writing this, I hope you are writing it on your paper as well. And why don't you take the time to solve this? What would 30 times 10 be? You are correct if you said 300. So I know that my product for 32 times 2 is going to be somewhere around 300. Now that we've estimated, it's time for us to solve our problem. Now, when we are working with the area model or the box method, we have to actually create boxes. How do you know how many boxes you need? Do you know because your teacher told you? Do you know because you guessed it? No. There's a reason why you need a certain amount of boxes, and I'm going to show you why. Let's take a look at the first number here, 32. When I look at that, how many numbers do you see, or how many digits do you see that make a 32? 2 digits, you're right. And I'm going to write a little multiplication sign here. How many digits do you see for this number? 2 digits, you're right. So boys and girls, when I multiply 2 digits times or by 2 digits, what does that equal to? What is 2 times 2? I think I heard you already. You said 4. That's right. So because this equals to 4, that tells me how many boxes I'm going to need. 2 digits by 2 digits means I need 4 boxes. Yay! 4 boxes. So I think we're ready to begin. What I would like you to do right now is to write on your paper 32 times 12, create your box, and create 4 boxes within that box. You may do that now. Okay, as you are doing that, I'm going to start working on my first number, 32. When I look at 32, I need to break my number down or decompose it based on place value. Another way of saying place value is based on, for this number, your tens and ones. So I'm just going to make part of a place value chart to help me. So when I look at this, 3, what does that mean? I have 3 groups of 10. Well, boys and girls, how much is 3 groups of 10? You are right. It's 30. So I'm going to write 30 here. And then I'm going to write a plus sign. So 30 plus what is going to give me 32? Let's look at our ones place. If we look at our ones place, we see there's a 2 in the ones place. So 30 plus 2. I have decomposed my number based on place value. 30 plus 2 gives me 32. Let's do the same thing for 12. You could take the time right now to draw a partial place value chart as well. Okay? How many groups of 10 do I have? You're right, 1. So how much is 1 group of 10? 1 group of 10 is 10. And I'm going to write it over here. And then if I write my plus sign, of course. And now I have to look at my ones place. How many ones are there? You're right, 2. Does 10 plus 2 equal 12? You betcha. It does. Okay, so I have set up my numbers based on place value. I've set them up, and now it's time for me to multiply. Okay, so the first box means I need to multiply 30 times 10. So when I think of 30 times 10, that means 30 groups of 10. I think I can work on this mentally. Can you? I will think aloud. If I know that 3 groups of 10 is 30, then I must know that 30 groups of 10 has to put me into the hundreds. So that means that 30 groups of 10 would have to be 300. You are correct. Now let's move over or cross to the next box. 10 times 2. I'm sure you know that already. Why don't you write it and I'll say it aloud? 20. Did you write 20? You're correct, because 10 times 2 is 20. Okay, now we're going to go down to this box, which means we need this number to be multiplied with this number. 30 times 2. Oh, well, to me that's a double, and I think I can do that in my head. Can you? What's 30 times 2? You're right, it is 60. 30 times 2 is 60. And now it's time for us to do our last box, which is 2 times 2. What is 2 times 2? You said it, 4. Alright, now it's time for us to take our numbers and add them together. I'm not going to make a list that just goes straight down, 300 plus 20 plus 60 plus 4, because I might mess up in terms of adding my numbers correctly. So I'm going to go across and chunk it. What's 300 plus 20? Could you do that in your head? I know you can. You're right. It's 320. Let's go down to the bottom row. 60 plus 4. Can you do that in your head? Sure you can. You're right. It's 64. Okay, so now I can add this together. Well, we know in the ones place, no ones plus 4 is 4 ones. Going into the tens place, 2 groups of 10 plus 6 groups of 10, 8 groups of 10. And then 3 groups of 100 and nothing here, so that leaves us with 300s. So my product for 32 times 12 is 384. So let's recap. 32 times 12 equals, we already said it, do you remember? What's our product? What's our answer? Correct. 384. And do you remember what our estimate was? Take a look at your paper and let me know. That's right, 300. Is 300 a reasonable estimate for this problem? Yes, you're right. It's a reasonable estimate. Okay, so boys and girls, let's look at our I can statement one more time. I can demonstrate how to use an area model to compute products. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and please remember you can always ask your teacher if you can come back and redo the lesson again if you need more help on learning how to use an area model. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Take care.